is John Paul Ryan. I'm coming from Tokyo, Japan. I'm going to talk about Bruce Lee and Quentin Tarantino again, and it seems like there's pretty split decisions on this thing, and I gotta say, off the bat, I am a huge Bruce Lee fan. I had a Bruce Lee statue, I took martial arts, I live in Japan, I love Asian culture. I'm definitely not someone who's just kind of here and there. I really like Bruce Lee. Alright, I said it. There we go. I also really like Quentin Tarantino. I think Quentin Tarantino stands up for a lot of things that I don't like today in movies. I like his old movies. So, man, it's real tough. I'm caught kind of in the middle here. I think Quentin Tarantino should not have made the scene. It was in bad taste, and I will definitely say that. But I'm not, like, really furious over it. I'm just like, yeah, why'd you do that? Kind of like Jar Jar in episode 1. I wasn't like furious over it, but I was like, that was really a bad move in the movie. So let's get into this article about someone else pretty close to Bruce Lee who comes out against Tarantino. NBA legend Kareem AbdulJabbar is the latest celebrity to weigh in on Bruce Lee's controversial depiction of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Jabbar, who battled Bruce Lee on screen in the '78 film Game of Death, wrote in an article for the Hollywood Reporter Friday that the portrayal of his longtime friend was disappointing. Okay, longtime friend is how they frame it. Tarantino has the artistic right to portray Bruce Lee the way he wants, the NBA star 72 wrote, but to do so in such a sloppy and somewhat racist way is a failure, both as an artist and as a human being. So, yeah, he just kind of comes off cocky, and it's just not well written. There's no explanation really. It's just like he's used as like this caricature. And like I said, find that distasteful, and I wish Quentin Tarantino didn't do that. As far as to say racist, I don't know. I mean, is it because Bruce Lee's Chinese that he did that? Somebody here told me that they thought Quentin Tarantino was a racist because in Kill Bill, Beatrice Kiddo killed a ton of Japanese people. Alright? Now, here's the thing. The problem with that is, first of all, I live in Japan. I have Japanese kids. I love Japan. And I never, ever looked at it like that in Kill Bill. Okay? He chose to have the movie in Japan, so obviously she's going to be fighting a bunch of Japanese. It's the Japanese mob. Okay? It just never even occurred to me, like, Japanese, white woman killing Japanese, racist. Because by that term, you also have to say Quentin Tarantino was a feminist, because he's having a woman kill a bunch of men. So if you see what I'm saying, if you just take the gender and identity of anyone and stack that up, you could say anything. You could say, in the Django, I think that's Django, the black dude cowboy movie where he shoots up everybody. Well, maybe Quentin Tarantino's racist against whites because he has a black guy kill a bunch of white guys. It never ends. You could always slap some label on some label and call someone a racist. So I don't think Quentin Tarantino is a racist, that it's because Bruce Lee's Chinese necessarily, but I do agree that it was a distasteful, bad scene, and I really wish he didn't have that scene in there. He could have just had some martial artist Chinese guy or whatever, not Bruce Lee. And I forgot all about this guy. I remember this picture. I remember this guy, and yeah, so pretty interesting. He's referring to the scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where Bruce Lee's fictional stuntman Cliff spars with Lee, played by Mike Moore, after the martial arts star boasted about his fighting prowess. And Bruce Lee did, I think, have a little bit of a cocky side, as he should. You should have a cocky side. If you're like one of the supreme fighters in the world, you should have somewhat of a cocky side to you. Bruce Lee was very modest, but he also did have a cocky side. So, and I think that's fine for his accomplishments, for things he did. You could just write it off as confidence. Shit talk. People say, I like to shit talk. Okay, maybe Bruce Lee liked to shit talk a little bit. So what? I gotta skip a word here because I'm gonna destroy the pronunciation. The John Wayne attitude of Cliff, an aging stuntman who defeats the arrogant, uppity Chinese guy, harks back to the very stereotypes Bruce Lee was trying to dismantle, AbdulJabbar said. AbdulJabbar said representation of Asians as the inscrutable villains had long frustrated Lee, who dedicated his life to changing the dismissive image of Asians. He continued, that's what disturbs me, that Tarantino chose to portray Bruce in such a one-dimensional way. Right, so here he is here when he fought Bruce Lee, and yeah, cool stuff. That's why filmmakers have the responsibility when playing with people's perceptions of admired historical people to maintain a basic truth about the content of their character, he wrote. Quentin Tarantino's portrayal of Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood does not live up to this standard. Like I said, I really wish Tarantino didn't do this, but I'm kind of playing the middle here because it's not going to make me like hate Tarantino. He sucks. He's terrible. He says a lot of good things about stuff that people like me don't like about Hollywood. So, yeah. I mean, like, it's a sticky situation here, but I think it's really interesting because we've got like two major players involved. All right. I'm doing shout-outs, special thanks, things like that. Click that subscribe button, pretty please with sugar on top, and I will see you next time.